So I came up through the music business, and I played in a performing rock band for a long time. In fact, we played your ice sculpture thing years and years ago. My last name is Caruso. We had four brothers in the band, so we're called the Caruso Brothers. And that's when I first became aware of the city of Plymouth, because I did grow up in Trenton. Plymouth was like on the other side of the planet, and I've been a fan ever since. We played the Livonia Spree many times. We've been to the West Side a few times. So then I started getting these calls to do municipalities. One was in Chatham, Kent, so it was in Ontario. And I did something for the Sterling Heights Council not long ago, and now the city of Plymouth. And I guess it's because the cities have been through a lot, so it's my pleasure to be here today. We're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about teams and how they work. I'm not creating policy today. I'm going to tell you some interesting stories. And that's it. We're just going to say we had a good morning together. So if you're expecting some sort of propaganda or sales pitch, I don't have one for you. And nobody's told me what to say today. They just said, come in and do a good job for our people. We want to treat them to something special. And I said, great, I'm there. Quick little thing, it has nothing to do with anything. Does anybody know the name Hal Holbrook? Hal Holbrook. Very good. Who is he? Oh, okay. Apparently more than one Hal Holbrook in the world. Yes. So there's a local Hal Holbrook? Local guy? No kidding. And he's still alive? Oh, okay. So the Hal Holbrook I'm referring to is the famous actor, and he died last week. And I was thinking about it because I had the good fortune of meeting Hal Holbrook. And it's the strangest thing. It's on my mind because it just happened that he just died. And I'm at an airport waiting to board a flight, and this guy kind of walks in, and some people walk into the room and you just know there's somebody, right? I mean, celebrity kind of person. I think everybody's somebody. But some people just walk into the room and your eyes go to them and you just know they've got a story. I didn't know who he was at first. He's got this big white shock of hair. And I'd seen him in a few things. I know he played Mark Twain for a long time in a play. He won, I think, an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor in a movie, Into the Wild. Anybody see the movie Into the Wild? Yeah, I loved it. Which is the John Krakauer book about this kid that goes to Alaska to find himself or live on his own. It's not a good ending for the kid. I won't spoil it for you, but check out the movie or the book. And he played the kid's mentor in the movie. Hal Holbrook did. Anyway, because I came up through the music business, I kind of gravitate toward people that do interesting things. And I don't know if anybody else in the airport terminal recognized Mr. Holbrook, but I'm like, I'd like to meet him. And I'm by myself, so there's nobody to do it but me. And I just learned how to do this when I was young. I'll tell you my secret in just a minute. But I walked up to him, and he was traveling with a woman, I assume a secretary or maybe staffer of some sort. And I said, excuse me for interrupting, because they were talking. And I said, are you Hal Holbrook? And he looked up and he said, and you get this kind of like mixed signal, like he was partly glad to be recognized and partly pissed that I interrupted him because they were talking business. But he was gracious, which I was kind of hoping would be the case. It's not always the case, but he was gracious. And I said, sorry to interrupt, sir. I won't be but a minute. I just wanted to say hello. My name is Michael Caruso. I'm traveling from Michigan. I'm a big fan of yours. And I just want to thank you for keeping the bar high in the film business, whatever nonsense I said. You know, when you meet somebody, sometimes you just start babbling. And he was so gracious. He's probably heard this a million times. It's the famous line that you use with a musician. I've got all your albums. What's he going to say to that? Lots of people do, So he goes, well, nice to meet you. And then I'm like such a fanboy. I go like, could I trouble you for a photograph? Because we don't ask for autographs anymore, but selfie or a toofy is going to be good, right? And he was so gracious. He stood up, and I'm sure he didn't want to stand up. He's an older guy, and he stood up, and we took a picture, and I'll never forget how nice he was to me. He didn't have to be. He just was. It was a nice little moment. And then, and that's it. I have the picture now as a keepsake, and when he passed away, I thought to myself, what a great guy, and I hope he didn't suffer long, and that's it. And we're going to talk about something called empathy in a minute, and how important it is to being a human being and a good citizen and a good employee for the city of Plymouth. But along the way, I thought, well, I wonder if you guys have met any famous people. Has anybody met anybody famous in your life? Didn't have to be recently.